Hi, Tiffany Cano here, one of the hosts for the Week of Kindness and Gratitude Summit and Giveaway. And I have an amazing guest with me today, Martina Caviezel, who I love. I love this woman. I love her. So I'm really happy to have her here with us today. The topic is the key to successful parenting, practical insights on parenting from one parent to another. And she is a mother of four beautiful children. And in her quest to find a way to parent that felt right for her and her family, she discovered that good parenting is all about awakening the parent in order to empower their children. So it's about you, the adult, right? And Martina will also admit that she has made every possible mistake along the way and knows that she's not aiming for perfection, but at being the best she can be. She created the course Art of Parenting to deeply support parents. And the course helps parents step into the ideal versions of themselves. And so today, she's going to be talking about how in a world where most parenting advice is about the children and how to discipline them, manage them, control them, yet Martina shows you an approach that will lead you to a more satisfying experience and bring out the best in your children. So, welcome, Martina.
Thank you, Tiffany. That was beautiful. I am so happy to be here with you. And thank you. Thank you for this time. Thank you
You're
for the
welcome.
opportunity to talk about what I do.
Mhm. And you guys are going to definitely want to pick up her gift. Okay. So it's the key to more harmonious relationships with your children, and it's unlocking the treasure chest. So definitely pick that up today because you're going to love it. So, Martina, yay, you're here.
Yes.
Ah, yes. So, as a mom of four, and a wife, like that's a lot to manage.
Mm, it is.
It is.
It truly is. Yes.
And I can't even imagine what it was like to start like having four small kids. I mean, now your kids are like end of high school or into college. And so they're a little older now. But what was that like for you just to be a parent of four kids as they were growing up?
Well, the first thing I want to say is they say little children, little problems, big children, big problems, right? and and parenting never ends, right? My clients that have children in their 40s can attest to that, right? I always knew that, but they definitely tell me, it never ends. It never ends. The worries, the concerns, the overwhelming love, it never ends. um, One of the things I can share with you is like my mom made it look so easy. So when I was pregnant with my fourth child, I was like, I don't know how possibly she could have done it. It was so challenging at one point. I had pregnant insomnia. I was always kind of behind.
Mhm.
And for me, if I don't sleep, there's really not much left. There's no tolerance, there's no patience, there's no play. And that's
Mhm.
all really key qualities if you're
Mhm.
dealing with young children.
Mhm.
It's really, um, key ingredients, right? As a parent, play,
Uh-huh.
tolerance, patience, key
Mhm.
ingredients. And, I remember I so clearly remember that one day when my three they were just having fun. They were just having fun. They were running around the kitchen table, playing, laughing, being loud. And I was preparing dinner and I was just so distraught. I was exhausted. I had nothing left. And I remember, I remember smacking, like really smacking my hand on the kitchen counter and start yelling at them. And they just stopped and looked at me like in shock,
Mm-hmm.
right? One of them started crying. And in a way, that was the moment where I just need to do something. I just something needs to change because this is not working. This is
Mm-hmm.
not who I want to be. This is not how I want to raise my children. So in a way, that was, I'm going to say, part of the beginning.
Yeah, that was your wake-up call
Yeah,
that said, whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah,
We
yeah,
need to change something here.
yeah.
So what did you change and how did you change it?
I really started to look at one of the things is, like I engaged people to take care of my children so I could go take a nap, right? That was the immediate, right? So I had more capacity, but it kind of sent me on a search on on how best, like, what does it take to be a great parent?
Mm-hmm.
What does it take to be a good parent?
Mm-hmm.
And I found different teachers. One of them was Debbie Ford, and
I love
the
her.
the work of Debbie Ford is all about uncovering your shadows, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
just really, um, it takes one to know one, right? Whatever triggers you in the other person is yours. And I remember, I also remember reading the book The Dark Side of the Light Chaser, and she says,
Yes.
the people that trigger you have your qualities. And so I just started looking at my children, and I was like, okay, my oldest, he's serious and sometimes significant. I'm like, okay, I can definitely see that in myself. And the second one, he's a happy-go-lucky and a little mischievous. I'm like, yeah, I can definitely recognize that in myself. And then I got to my third one, and I'm like, she's a prima donna. I don't know where she got that from. Definitely not from me. How no, 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 no. And I remember, I remember being in a class, in a pottery class that I was taking at the time, and my pottery teacher asked me, "What are you going to work on today?" And I said, I really don't know. My pieces are way too wet to do anything with it. And if you know anything about pottery, they need to dry a little bit so you can keep working on them. And she said, Martina, why don't you put them next to a fan? And I remember looking over at the fan, looking back at her, and saying, there's a chair in the way. Like I could not possibly be bothered to move the chair out of the way. And that's the moment I got, that's my prima donna. That's how I am entitled. That's how I want to things to be done for me,
Mm-hmm.
however I want them to be done for me.
I can't
And
relate at all.
and it just was really interesting to see, and in discovering that and in making peace with that, I had so much more capacity for my daughter and so much more space and so much more
Mm-hmm.
appreciation. And with each one of them, it's like whenever there's something coming up, right? Your kids are here to push your buttons. You know, that's their job. It's their job. If they were put on the world to have a job, like if that would be a job, that would be their job, to push your buttons. And then your job is to do the work, not to react, more or less, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a very, very simple way. Now it might be simple, might sound simple, but it's not always easy,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. So at what point did you wake up and say, okay, not only do I need to change and I'm going to work on myself, I'm going to, do, you know, Debbie Ford's training to heal my shadow. When did you decide that you wanted to now be an empowering parent coach for other parents who were struggling like you were?
I grew up, and this is a conversation I have with my clients. I grew up, I had everything externally that I needed, really. If there's really nothing to blame my parents for the way I grew up, they gave me everything I needed, right? I had shelter, I had food, I had some attention, but it wasn't really what I needed. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really what made me feel seen and heard and appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if I work with parents, I get access to the children. The children are our future, and I don't know about you, Tiffany, but if I start to envision a world where everybody feels seen, heard, and appreciated and loved, like feels, not knows they are, right? Feels, what would be possible? Who could they be? Like for
Yes.
me, that's peace. That's that's just the access to peace.
It,
And it
yes.
is powerful leadership, whatever leadership means to each individual person, right? It doesn't mean the person in the foreground. It means each person being responsible for themselves and living their best powerful life. And
Mm-hmm.
so I want to be part of that world. I want to be part of helping create that world.
I so love that about you. I can feel your heart just like oozing as you're saying it. Like you are really owning that.
Mm.
And the
So
empath
I so
in
I
me
work so
really
I work with
resonates.
parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I work with parents so I can support them in that, and
Mm-hmm.
they will model that for their children.
Yeah. And do you work with both moms and dads?
I work with both moms and dads. Mostly I work with moms, but I
Mm-hmm.
work with both.
And how do you work with them? Like, is it coaching sessions over the phone? Is it through an online course? Can you give a little more info about that?
Yes, I have a course that is called Art of Parenting,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a 7 class course. And it is a very, very powerful course where you learn skills and tips and tools to become the version of your dream, right? Because there's no parent manual. There's no manual on how to be parents. For most of us, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have a child, and then it's like, okay, I want to be like my mom and dad, or I definitely do not want to be like my mom and dad, and then that's it. It's trial and error. There is no manuals, there is no course, there is nothing to teach you how to become the best version of yourself. Whatever you say is your best version, right? Parenting advice is what worked for the other person, what worked for the person who wrote the book, or who mostly it's not about you finding your own answers. And the Art of Parenting course will teach you or will help you, support you in finding your own answers, what works for you and your family.
Yeah, because there's no cookie cutter answer.
Mm.
There's so many different cultures and races and religions and ethnicities that it's not going to be the same
Mhm.
for every household. So I love that you take them within to find out what that answer is
Mhm.
specifically for their family.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's wonderful.
thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, and when you were talking about how you get to impact not only the parent but their children and how that can create such a beautiful, more peaceful, joyful world. I mean, that really lit me up also.
Mm.
Yeah. And can you talk about what do you do? when there's conflict between parents and their one or more children?
Can you be more specific in your question?
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
suppose
very broad.
conflict could be, yes. So, well, let me do it this way. What if a mom and a dad have two different parenting styles
Mhm.
with that child that they're trying to raise? And obviously, whatever the parents are currently doing isn't working because the kid's getting bad grades, probably, getting detention or acting out in some way. So, what would you recommend for a family in that kind of a situation?
In the end, again, it starts with the parent, right? It always starts with the parent. And a child will do great if only one parent does the work. They know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other part is that if the parents have different parenting styles, it's really important to not get into an argument about that, because that's their relationship, their unique relationship with their child, right? So there's my relationship with my child, and there's my husband's relationship with my child. And I really try to just take a step back and not interfere. You know, it's like the imaginary duct tape. That's my, that's like my okay, okay. you know, so you can really support and not undermine the other person,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
because again, going back to our buttons are pushed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is going back to unearthing, which in a way leads me to talk about the gift, right? For the giveaway, like the key to creating harmonious relationships with your children, unlocking the treasure chest. It's a treasure chest. It's just really it's 4 steps that you
Mm.
can apply to probably anything in your life, any situation, any relationship. And the steps are willingness, awareness, assessment, and choice.
Nice.
So you start with willingness, and it's really an exploration. It's a 3-class mini course, and you start with exploration on willingness. What is it? How willing are you?
Mm-hmm.
And from there, once you're willing, you can become aware, right? You can be willing to be aware.
Mm-hmm.
So you can then start looking around, like opening your eyes to what's going on. And then the last class is on assessment, because once you are willing and aware, you then can assess the situation. And once you assess the situation, you can choose differently. And the choice and the action step that goes with the choice will change the trajectory of your life.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of this book on empowering decisions, and just how one choice, one decision can create an entirely new neural pathway, an entirely new path in life.
Mhm.
And if, as a parent, you can have that wake up call, right? Like something's not working, and that willingness to do something about it, and then make a new choice, a new decision with how you're going to parent, and how you're going to parent in that particular situation that, in the past had probably not worked very well. And Martina's already admitted she's made all of the mistakes you could
And I
possibly
still
make.
make them. I still make them to this day. Imaginary duct tape does not always work. you know?
Well, the one thing that I love about you, though, is that even when you make the mistake, you acknowledge it.
hmm
You try to work through it with
Yeah.
whoever it is that you made that mistake with. You don't try to like brush it under the rug and like secretly, hide it away. Like, oops, I made a mistake. No, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, I own it. I messed up.
Mm.
Let's do better going forward.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of honesty and integrity and authenticity that has always attracted me to, having you
Mm.
in my circle.
Mm.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you. And I
Thank you.
also wanted to ask you about a grounding exercise that you've done for yourself, and one thing that you do help parents with, especially when, they're probably overwhelmed and freaking out and have all
Mm.
this stuff and exhausted. So,
Yeah.
can you guide us through a short grounding exercise?
I absolutely can. But let me just quickly say something about what you just said before is one of the things is you always only see the perfect picture, right? Facebook shows you the perfect picture. So we feel as parents, we feel really, really inadequate. And part of what I'm great at is at normalizing. We are, nobody's perfect, and it's okay to make mistakes. So can you be gentle with yourself? And that's one of the biggest things that I will tell each one of my clients. Just don't judge, just be gentle, just take a step back, breathe, forgive yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then try again, and then try again, and then try again. So, so yes, I would love to do a grounding exercise. So, wherever you are, just take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just settle into yourself. Just become aware of your body. And maybe there's thoughts flowing around your mind. And see if for right now you can just put them on the shelf. Just put them on the shelf. You can pick them up later if you need to. Just keep breathing and just become aware if there's any tension in your body. And if there is, just imagine, I'm going to say, just a light rain, just washing it all away into the ground at your feet. And then allow yourself to become present to your heart, your beautiful, powerful heart. And look and see if your heart needs anything right now. And if it does, just give it to yourself. Know that it's available in the universe and just give it to yourself. Fill yourself up with it, whether it's love, patience, compassion, joy, focus, whatever it is, just fill yourself up with it. And then thank yourself for having taken this moment for yourself to calm your mind. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. Just come on back.
I don't want to come back. I like it there.
And then just notice how quiet your mind is, right? It's just such a quick, easy reset.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, in the crazy world we live in, and with all
Mm.
our long, long lists, especially as parents, that never ending long list, and all the things to do, just taking a few breaths and settle into your body is just such a gift to get you out
Mm-hmm.
of your head and present.
Mm. Love it.
And you're all blissed out right now.
I am. I am. I've been so busy. So it was nice to just like have someone else, not me, like always facilitating for everybody else. And sometimes it's just nice to receive.
Mm, yeah.
So for those of you who want more of Martina, definitely go to her website, artofparenting.info, and pick up her gift. Click on that right now and get the key to more harmonious relationships with your children, unlocking the treasure chest.
Mm,
And let it be something that really empowers you, empowers your family, empowers your relationship with your children. And these kinds of tools, as Martina said, you can apply them to any relationship. It's not just being a good parent, it's about being a good person, a good leader, a good example in
yeah.
life, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yes.
love it.
Yeah. And let me just quickly say, I always love to hear from people. So just reach out to me. It's info@artofparenting.info. Okay. I love to hear from people. I love to, hear comments, feedback, where you are, how best I can support you. Just
Mm,
reach out to me.
love it. Any other final comments or love notes that you want to share
Mm.
with the moms and dads out there?
You've got this. You're doing perfectly fine. You've got this. Just pat yourself on the back.
Hmm. And if you don't feel like you've got this, reach out to Martina.
Absolutely.
She'll help you to get there where you can actually like own it and feel that you've got this. And it's totally okay to not be perfect and to make mistakes and to just decide something new, to continue up leveling yourself as the best parent you can possibly be.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And to create that beautiful, beautiful world where there's
Mm,
peace.
love it. Thank you again, Martina. Much love.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. Thank you.